Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are going to spend some time here in the driveway shade garden. Of course, this is all part of our front yard, side yard, landscape renovation. And so we are going to plant some hydrangeas today, some butterfly bushes, a Japanese maple. We are going to have fun in this bed. Bit by bit, I am transforming this bed from a very narrow, very filled with shade perennial flower bed into a wider, more sun, more texture, more color, more year-round interest flower bed, and I am so excited about it. So again, this is a multi-step process. This bed is not going to be finished today, and there is still a lot of work to be done, but it is a lot of fun to be in this space, and hopefully this will give you some ideas, some inspiration for your own garden, whether you are doing a fall project or you just find a plant that you absolutely love and want to add into your garden. That is the goal for today. And of course, is to have fun in the garden. So let's just do a quick little rundown, right? So if you're not familiar with what we're doing, you can check out some of the videos that we have recently been filming and putting out. But basically, remember, we have completely expanded this bed. We're putting in like the Bell Guard product. So we've done this pad here, all of the hardscape edging that goes all the way down. So this hardscape edging has really defined my flower bed now, and it has more than doubled in size. So if you can kind of see where the line of this line of the hostas and on down, that was the original bed, and then I have all of this to plant. So by putting in the edger, of course, it has really transformed the space. It has framed it. It is a beautiful space. And down here on the end, we will continue, of course, this weekend. I think they are going to be working on getting the sidewalk laid down with the new pavers. So a couple days, last week, all the time kind of runs together on me, my friends. We came through, Jerry and I did, we put in a dwarf Colorado blue spruce. We put in a new dog cobble, a Lakothi, that is Paisley pup. Love that one so much. And then a Kodiak Durvilla, a beautiful native shrub. And then here on the end, Electra blue Deodora cedar. You can probably see my containers and my hydrangeas that are naked. That's right, they are completely naked and they are ready to go in the ground. So that is what we're going to do. I do have a stake right here. This is where the Japanese maple is going to go. The Japanese maple is a Makeover, Makeover Yatsubusa, and so it has been living in a container by the garden shed, and y'all, I think it's rooted out the whole container and it's too much for me to move by myself. So I'm flying solo right now. So once I get some muscle around here, then we can get the Japanese maple and get it in the ground. So you're just gonna have to hold tight on that one for a little bit because, like I said, couldn't get that one by myself. So what I do want in this flower bed, right, is color, texture. Let the plants breathe a little bit. The perennials are very happy. They have really grown, they have expanded, and so we're going to be thinning out in the coming days, weeks. We're going to be adding, we're going to be swapping, all of the fun things. But today's goal is to get the hydrangeas, the butterfly bush, I got one hosta, and the Japanese maple in the ground. So let's start at the top in the sunny area. This is around the Electra blue. And we have got 4 of the little taffy, nope, sorry, this is, yes, it is little taffy butterfly bush. And so there's, you can see that these 3 are fully in the sun right now. This one's getting ready to go back in the sun. But these are beautiful, nice, petite buddleias, butterfly bushes, that are a nice, soft pink. And they're gonna look beautiful up against that Electra blue cedar. So we kind of just did a little bit of a wrap here around the Electra blue because we have got tons of other evergreens and hydrangeas and all sorts of things, abelias that are going to go in here. But I want to get these in the ground ASAP because they are ready for their new home. So we're going to do that, kind of do a little swoosh around the Electra blue. This is definitely full sun for them on this corner. Next, what we're going to do is 4 of the beautiful tiny tough stuff. And tiny tough stuff, as the name suggests, is going to be a very compact petite hydrangea. I want to say it is a 2 by 1.5 tall and wide, hardy in zones 4 to 9. Of course, this is a reblooming mountain hydrangea, a serrata. It will be a lace cap, and so it will be pH dependent. More than likely, it will be blue for me because I tend to have acidic soil. And because they are petite, they're coming forward on the bed, and I want to do kind of that mass planting. So the spacing may not be perfect right now. I have to come back and through just to make sure, but we're doing a little bit of a zigzag. And my plan is that at maturity, they will be kissing one another. I don't want a ton of plants hiding the edge, so this hydrangea and this one will just kind of kiss it and it will be perfect. And the serratas tend to be a little bit more sun tolerant because right now it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and this entire bed is in the full sun, which is great because they get a break from the hot afternoon sun. However, this bed, and especially the further you move out towards the driveway, gets that 6 hours of sun. So they definitely get the sun, and here on the corner, as the sun comes around the house, then they're gonna get another shot again of some sun, but they can handle it. And because they are a reblooming mountain hydrangea, this is north. And so in the wintertime, when we get those cold northerly winds, these guys will be okay. Even if we have some crazy funky weather and it freezes all of the first blooms off the hydrangeas, they're gonna bloom again. It may be delayed, but they're going to bloom. I am guaranteed to get flowers off of these reblooming hydrangeas of those tiny tough stuff. So I'm very excited to add those. Next, now I think y'all what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a pin in this one. This is the Invincible Wee White. I've got some figuring to do. Now, before you say anything, the only thing back here that is staying is the White by the Gate Camellia, Aurelia Sun King, Holly Fern, Zebra Hydrangea. Everything else is going to get moved. Now, it may stay in this flower bed, but it's going to get dug up and put into a different spot. Or it's going to get dug up and go to a different garden. So don't freak out because I know visually it's hard right now to see exactly how it's going to look. And you're like, why in the world would you put a hydrangea so close to that fern? Well, because that fern, my friends, is not going to be there. But I'm not convinced that that's exactly where I want it to go. So she's going to hang out for a little bit longer. We're not going to plant her today. The idea is, I'll let you in a little secret here on my vision. We've got, these are ghost ferns. So we have 2 ghost ferns right here, and then I have one on the other side of this hydrangea. They're all gonna get dug up. My containers, so there's a container here, there's a container there, they're gonna get taken out, okay? The Solomon seal is going to get taken out as well because it has a spread, which it does, which is lovely, but we're gonna go ahead and dig it up and then put it in some pots and then put it at the nursery for sale. So I'm basically gonna clear out the Solomon seal kind of up to the white post. So I'm gonna have all of this open. These 3 ghost ferns are going to go in kind of an arch right here. And then I'm thinking that I'm gonna put a Savannah urn in front of them. That's the thought. So I'm not quite sure if Wee White is going to look perfect there, so we're just going to wait on her and leave her alone, okay? So put a pin in her. Now, I have 2 of the Fairy Trail Fresco, brand new. Grew these from quartz. So all my sweet people who order from us online or who are scared to order online and you say, well, you only have quartz. I want something bigger. I don't have time for it to grow. Y'all, this was a quart in April. Okay, so this plant I took from the online resources, the online inventory. It was a quart, same quart we shipped out to y'all. I put it in an urn and y'all look, can you tell the shape of the urn? I mean, it literally filled in the whole entire thing. So this is easily, if I had it in a 3-gallon, would have filled in a 3-gallon. Fresco, of course, that Fairy Trail, is a cascading hydrangea. Now you may look at this and you're like, Jenny, that is not cascading, that is upright. Yes, it is. I've learned a trick. We have to like kind of help it cascade. So we're going to, I have a trick for you, but we have to kind of pull down those limbs to make it cascade. I think this is going to work. I'm going to show you this trick when we plant this. So I've got 2 of those and they kind of bookend here. So we've got the Fairy Trail Fresco, gorgeous, colors, pH dependent. Mine were blue, stunning. So the Fresco has all the colors. It's not a white, it's not a green. It has the pinks, the blues, the creams, all the colors. Absolutely stunning. So love that. All right, then we have got 3 of my little guys right here. These are the Let's Dance Skyview. Let's Dance Skyview is a reblooming macrophylla. So we have got a serrata, a lace cap. Now we're having a macrophylla, and so this is a reblooming. Proven Winners is calling this the continuous blooming hydrangea. More than likely as a sky view, it is going to be blue for me, and it's going to be about. We'll put all the specs up because don't ask me to remember exactly. So we've got 2 together here that again at maturity they're going to kiss and they're going to look like one big beautiful giant hydrangea in front of the Kodiak Orange Durvilla. Then we're going to have the Makeover here, and then we've got the other one. So we're going to have kind of a 2 and 1. I promise it'll work. Now, my lunar falls, they are hanging out. They are not getting planted right there. They are going in this bed, but I don't know exactly where. That's going to be like the earrings on the flower bed. So they're just hanging out right there, living their best life. So all is good there. And then we have got the other Fairy Trail Fresco. So this Fresco will have a beautiful companion of the Paisley Pup, my Zebra Hydrangea, and then back here in the back is the Holly Fern. Again, all of those hostas are going to get dug up. So either they're coming out or they're getting moved around in the flower bed. So just keep that in mind. And we are going to go ahead and plant Diamond Lake. So Diamond Lake is a beautiful blue hosta. I know she looks green right now. It's the end of the season, but it is a blue hosta, and we're going to kind of stick her here so that it'll be kind of growing into the bottom of the Zebra Hydrangea, complement the Paisley Pup, and so that is what is going to go there. So we have got a lot of plants to add to the garden today. So I have got my Jenny's Edition 9-inch auger. I have got my Biotone, never leave home without it. And then we're not going to amend this bed because remember, when we did the evergreens and all that, we put down a bunch of land and sea. So the bed has already been amended as the whole entire bed. So I do not have to amend each hole. Once the entire bed has been planted and all is said and done, then we will come back and mulch. So we're not mulching today. We are just trying to do bit by bit, get bones by bones in the flower bed. So today is hydrangea and butterfly and maple bones. That's what we're doing today, my friends. All right, my friends, so we got all of the plants on today's list are in the ground. So there you go. And yet for once again, I moved the lunar falls around. I think these are going to be definitely a last minute addition because I keep moving around, but I'm not ready to plant. I'm not ready to commit yet. So just to run through real quick, it definitely, of course, makes a huge difference using the Power Planter auger. The only thing I had to be careful with is that where you see the green flags, that is where the French drain is. So I couldn't put a plant directly on top of that. I just had to make sure that I was off-centered of that because I do not want to drill through the French drain. Got Diamond Lake in. Yes, it's a little lopsided, y'all. In about 6 weeks, it's going to get fried and it's going to go down to the ground. I am not worried about that. It is fine. And so, of course, hostas, this is a great time. Fall is a great time to add your hostas and hydrangeas to your landscape because they have all winter to get their roots really well established. And they're going to come back, and then when the summer heat hits next year, they're going to be just fine and be able to handle it. So this is why I love planting hostas, ferns, hydrangeas in the fall into early winter. They do great here. So Fairy Trail Fresco got her in, of course, got 2 of them. So Fairy Trails are cascading hydrangeas. Well, y'all, they've been on the market for a while, and I did not know until this summer that you have to help. So using those landscape staples to bring them down and have them cascade. So right now you can see that the stems are nice and quote green. They're not really green, they're almost a black, but they're very pliable. They're not super woody right now. So I was able to pull them down without snapping them. Then the idea is over the winter, they will harden, and they will harden in this position. Then I can take those landscape staples out, and as this grows and gets tall, then I can help pull it down. And so we have that cascading weeping habit on the Fairy Trail Fresco. So that's what we're gonna try. And then of course, got the, Let's Dance Sky Views in. Once we got Makeover in, then we did come through and just slightly tweak a little bit of the placement of the Let's Dance Sky Views. But of course the Makeover is in. Such a fun, funky little Japanese maple. Mimi came down to check on my progress and I was like, oh, perfect. So I enlisted her help, but Makeover has superly tight stacked leaves on it. The new growth, we actually have some new growth right here. Look at that color on that. Isn't that beautiful? And then in the fall, it'll turn those brilliant reds that the Japanese maples are so known for. So really fun. She has a funky shape. It is not directly in front of the Sun Kings. It's just off to the side a little bit. And then, of course, this will give me some winter interest structure because the Aurelia Sun King is a perennial, so it's completely herbaceous. So it is in the process. That's why it looks a little rough. This time of year, it starts to lose those bottom leaves, and then in the winter, it's completely gone. It's like a hosta. You won't even know it's there. So that gives me some structure in this bed in the winter, even though the Japanese maple won't have leaves on it. It'll have some structure there. So we've got those. Playing around with the lunar falls. These guys, the Let's Dance Sky Views, will get to be about 4 feet wide. So obviously, like this is too close. So maybe we could put like 1 here. So that's why I just keep playing with it. And then of course the other fresco, same thing here. Kind of got those stems kind of loosely pinned down, and then the tiny tough stuff is all in here, and then the little raspberry. Now with your butterfly bushes, we keep saying this all the time, plant your butterfly bushes high. Look, we already have a butterfly on there. There she goes, I scared her. Plant your butterfly bushes high. So you'll see that root ball right there. It is up high. You want them to be well draining. They hate sitting in wet soil. And because we have clay soil, our winters are very wet. We plant butterfly bushes, buddleias up high. That way they are very well draining. So it feels great to get this done. Yet another planting under our belt, 1 step closer. So really the next step is to get all the perennials lifted out. So the perennials that are not staying in here, like I'm gonna thin out a lot of my hostas back there. The vast majority of these hostas are going to go and not come back in this bed. So we'll get them out. Then maybe if we have a hosta that's staying, get it moved forward a little bit. I have got a Brunnera in here. It's staying, it just needs to be moved because the Sun King is swallowing it. Same thing over here. Like I said, the blue pot with the, that's a euchorella, is going to come out. And then my Lenten rose back here is massive and beautiful. It's one of my favorite ones, but she's gonna get hidden. So she's gonna come out and we're gonna go ahead and divide her. So it's gonna come out, but it's gonna stay in this bed somewhere. We're just gonna have to divide it and then replant it. So still a lot to be done, but bit by bit, we will get there. All right, my friends, as always, if you have found this fun, informative, inspirational, we would love it if you would like and subscribe. That way you don't miss those 5 videos we do each and every week. Y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.